Hi, thank you for watching Dig Into China. I'm Dong Xiong. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Xi Jinping is currently launching a new round of purges against the military, with 3 news events as a prelude. The South China Morning Post reported on July 28th that Li Yuchao, the commander of the People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, along with Deputy Commanders Liu Guangbin and the former Deputy Commander Zhang Zhengrong, are under investigation by the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, the Chinese Communist Party's anti-corruption agency, and the military's audit department. The investigation encompasses the entire leadership of the rocket force, from the commander to the deputy commanders, making it a significant event within China, the Chinese Communist Party, and the entire military. The specific reasons for the investigation, whether linked to corruption, political issues, or long-rumored classified information leaks, remain undisclosed to the public. However, it is evident that a major development has occurred within the military. The deputy commander of the rocket force, Wu Guohua, tragically committed suicide by hanging himself in the bathroom of his home's 3rd floor. After imposing a 1-month ban, the authorities have now permitted Wu Guohua's family to hold his funeral. Interestingly, it has been revealed from various sources that during the funeral, Wu Guohua cannot be addressed as a comrade or referred to as a general. He can only be designated as Mr. Wu Guohua. This unusual situation has raised questions about the circumstances surrounding Deputy Commander Wu Guohua's decision to take his own life, as well as the ongoing investigation of the rocket force's commander and the deputy commanders. Public opinion has naturally linked these incidents, both of which are regarded as highly peculiar. Recently, official media in mainland China reported that the Equipment Development Department of the Central Military Commission has issued an announcement requesting information about irregularities and violations in the bidding and evaluation of equipment procurement for the entire military. What's intriguing is that the specified reporting period for such violations only goes back to October 2017. The announcement encourages the public to report any clues related to ethics, cliques and factions, abuse of power for personal gains, leaks of classified information, and regulatory deficiencies in or after October 2017. This focused approach and a specific time frame suggests a clear objective by the CCP. These 3 significant news events are all interconnected, involving corruption within the military, leaks of classified information, and the internal organizational chart. The issues within the rocket force have prompted a comprehensive investigation, highlighting a substantial problem within the entire military. In response to these developments, Xi Jinping recently convened a political work conference within the military, urging for a new wave of anti-corruption efforts. It is widely known that when Xi Jinping initiates anti-corruption measures, it often leads to significant purges and internal cleansing within both the party and the military. Here are my takeaways. The current wave of significant purges led by Xi Jinping marks the first major purge since he personally oversaw the military reform of the Chinese Communist Party. After assuming power, Xi Jinping carried out extensive reforms across the entire Chinese military. His reform efforts aimed to transform the commander system of the CCP's military, shifting from a former Soviet-style model to a fully American-style system, essentially emulating and adopting the US military's approach. These reforms were initiated in 2015, resulting in the establishment of the rocket force and other military units under the new structure after the military reform. Despite his outward appearance of being anti-American, Xi Jinping secretly admires and envies the United States. For instance, after assuming power, he introduced the concept of the Chinese dream, heavily influenced by the American dream, aiming to inspire the Chinese people with a dream akin to that of the United States. Additionally, Xi Jinping transformed the Central Security System, originally known as the Central Guard Battalion during Mao Zedong's era, into the present-day Secret Service, mirroring the US model where the president's security at the White House is handled by the Secret Service. Xi Jinping replicated this approach by establishing his own security as the Secret Service. Furthermore, when it comes to the military, Xi Jinping has taken a page right off the US playbook. He completely dismantled the traditional 4 headquarters structure of the CCP's military and replaced it with 15 functional departments. This extensive reorganization disrupted the previous centralized military power within the CCP and resulted in a decentralized of authority within the military. The former 4 headquarters, consisting of the General Logistic Department, General Staff Department, General Political Department, and the General Armament Department, were replaced by 15 new organizations. The General Office of the Central Military Commission, the Joint Staff Department, the Political Work Department, the Logistics Support Department, the Equipment Development Department, the Training and Administration Department, the National Defense Mobilization Department, the Discipline Inspection Commission, the Political and Legal Affairs Commission, the Science and Technology Commission, the Strategic Planning Office, the Office for Reform and Organizational Structure, the Office for International Military Cooperation, the Auditor Office, and the General Office for Organization and Management Affairs of the Central Military Commission. After 8 years of implementation, the new system within the CCP's military experienced a sudden collapse at the top levels of the recently established rocket force, sending shock waves throughout the military. The repercussions of this upheaval have been significant. It's important to note that it's not only the rocket force facing high-level collapse, but there have been similar issues in some other military regions, albeit not publicly disclosed. Some commanders have encountered consecutive problems. Clearly, this new system hasn't strengthened Xi Jinping's control. Instead, it has exposed signs of loss of control and oversight. This development has raised concerns for Xi Jinping, leading him to reassess his military reform and address any loopholes that may have emerged over the course of more than 7 years. The PLA's Equipment Development Department recently issued a notice seeking corruption clues, and the chosen time frame holds intriguing implications. Why did they select October 2017? What's the significance of that date? And why not start earlier or later? Acknowledgeable sources suggest that the October 2017 timeframe was deliberately chosen to avoid targeting a specific individual, namely the former Minister of National Defense, Wei Fenghe. The primary focus of Xi Jinping, the Equipment Development Department, and the Political Work Conference within the Central Military Commission is on the rocket force. And Wei Fenghe served as its first commander. Investigating Wei Fenghe would have caused significant upheaval within the military. Currently, Xi Jinping appears reluctant to send a signal to the public. It is possible that he is either dealing with Wei Fenghe discreetly or hasn't found concrete evidence against him. As Wei Fenghe retired during this year's 2 sessions, the Equipment Development Department of the Central Military Commission's call for corruption clues in the rocket force excludes him. Interestingly, Wei Fenghe stepped down from the rocket force in October 2017 after being elected as a member of the Central Military Commission during the 19th Central Committee's first plenary session, gaining prominence as a key military leader. The choice of this specific time frame seems to carefully avoid implicating Wei Fenghe, hinting that this time Xi Jinping may intend to spare him. Thirdly, corruption within the CCP has always been systemic and institutionalized. If the rocket force can engage in widespread corruption from top to bottom, can other military branches and regions be exempt from corruption? Obviously not. It is highly unlikely. Perhaps The Equipment Development Department only discovered corruption in the procurement of rocket force equipment? It is implausible that other branches and regions are corruption-free. So why focus on the corruption within the rocket force this time? It reflects Xi Jinping's political retaliation. If it were a genuine anti-corruption campaign, they should have reflected on the systemic flaws in the Equipment Development Department after the extensive collapse within the rocket force leadership. However, that's not the case. They specifically target the rocket force, turning a blind eye to corruption in other branches and regions. Furthermore, the rocket force cannot be fully investigated or connected to Wei Fenghe, as they must separate the investigation from him in terms of time. These circumstances indicate that this so-called anti-corruption campaign or military purge has little to do with actual anti-corruption efforts. Instead, it appears to be a politically motivated and a targeted cleansing orchestrated by Xi Jinping. I believe this issue will further ferment within the military. The scope of the purge will not be limited to the rocket force. Xi Jinping's level of dictatorship within the military far surpasses his control over national affairs. Despite conducting 3 or more rounds of purges, he still cannot fully control the military, and incidents like the complete collapse of the rocket force leadership continue to happen. This is a significant irony and reflects the weakness of Xi Jinping's dictatorship within the military. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.